Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
Damn. Hey.
This has to be the stone that hit him. I'll take a piece of it. Maybe someone will recognize it.
Got bellyache, have you? That's... Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad? monk's got no business out here. What happened to your vows? A monk's got...
You know the head they found near the scaffolding?
What about it?
Someone put it there on purpose. After they stuck horns on it to make it look sinister.
What a ridiculous thing to do. Who's responsible? And where did he find the skull?
I don't know, but I'll try to find out. Have you seen Leszek, the scaffolder?
I saw him. What do you want with him?
I want to talk to him about the head he dug up.
Really? That's interesting.
Why?
He asked me to meet him on the scaffolding tonight, so he can tell me something important. Said he wanted to confess something.
So he did have something to do with the skull. I knew it.
Maybe. But I'd wager someone made him do it. He doesn't seem the type to come up with something like that on his own. I'm planning to go and meet him. Will you come with me?
It will be safer with the two of us. I'll go.
Very well. We'll meet at night. If I'm not down at the bottom, then look for me at the top.
All right.
Good day to you.
The skull is a fake. Someone fixed horns on a human skull.
But where would they get a human skull? And why would they do it?
Maybe to frighten the workers? Raise the price?
But that wouldn't help anyone. It had to be some idiot's idea of a prank. An idiot who was nearly responsible for getting a man killed.
A monk's got no business out here. What happened to your vows?
I'm not needed here.
He just needs to sleep.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of, but others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this... I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
So you don't normally...
Well, there were... You were there.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true.
I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
That's true. He comes to visit Johanka, but he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you.
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
To be honest, not really.
So what am I supposed to do with you? Well, never mind. At least you'll learn something new. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
A monk's got no business out here.
I see.
What happened to your vows?
Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back. And woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry. You've never had as good a gardener.
Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. I can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm ashamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
These wounds have been well taken care of.
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
What is it? Ah! Hey, look out! Lout!
These wounds have been well taken care of.
Look where you're going. Christ! I see a thief! Guard! Thief!
Don't move a finger! You there! Stop! Surrender! Hey you! Halt! Surrender! You've committed a crime and I'm arresting you!
What's that? Don't move a finger. Where could he have vanished to? He must be here somewhere. You! Stop right where you are. You were seen stealing. This definitely won't come cheap. You'll learn crime doesn't pay.
Look, I'll tell you the truth, but you mustn't tell anyone. The Lord of Rat-Eye sent me on a secret mission, and to do it, I have to bend the law a little now and again. Understand?
My heart bleeds for you.
That's too much. I don't have that much coin.
Well, it's a jail cell for you then.
Jail? All right, let's go and get it over with quick.
Get moving. I hope you rot there. And spread your arms and legs. Let's see if you have anything else suspicious on you.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
What are you doing here? Is that some new kind of game? What are you doing here? You're playing truant.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
feel quite hungry.
What is it?
Shame I can't swim.
Doing here?
A monk's got no business out here. What happened to your vows?
Aren't you meant to be in the...
What are you doing here? You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you?
God be with you.
Did you see the accident that happened here?
I didn't see it. I was down at the bottom and I heard something rumble and then screams. I ran up and helped to carry him out.
Did you notice anything suspicious?
Like what? A lot of people came down to see what was happening. Even a butcher dripping with blood wouldn't have attracted any attention in that mob.
I feel quite hungry.
Bloody heathens. In King Charles' day, we had peace and calm everywhere.
Did you see Vashik at the market the other day?
Oh, aye. He was looking mighty smart.
What are you doing?
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. feel quite hungry.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad? Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad? A monk's got no business out here. What happened to your vows?
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
What are you doing here? You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you?
My respects to you, sir.
Whose house is this?
It's our local custodians. The most esteemed Sir Sebastian, Baron von Berg.
You don't seem to think very much of him.
But of course I do. A man with a nose so stuck up that it acts as a rain funnel can't be all bad.
What does the custodian do anyway?
Well, he's meant to look after the local community and keep the peace.
But
in fact, he seems more interested in robbing everyone blind.
I'm much obliged.
Don't mention it.
You look bored.
Beyond tears.
How can you be bored here in Sasau, in such a holy place, filled with knowledge?
Don't even talk to me about it. They won't let you touch the books, they don't want to talk to you, and when I wanted to look at the remains of St. Procopius, at least, they ran me off. Me! Like some kind of thief. What good is the whole blasted monastery if I can't even do that?
Well, they say there's not much left of poor Procopius.
What's that got to do with anything?
I'm not blaming you. It's just that only monks have access to the reliquary in the crypt. Folk were even taking relics away from St. Procopius' cave for protection before. Now no one's allowed in there.
I know, but I never dream of doing that. I just wanted to touch them for luck.
Maybe I could help you.
How? You're not planning some mischief, are you?
No, not at all. I was going to bring you something from the cave under the monastery where he spent his time. You can get in there, you could touch it for luck, and then I'd return it.
Oh, now. You'd do that for me?
Of course.
Then I'd be very grateful to you.
I've got a bowl for you from the cave of St. Procopius.
A bowl? I was expecting something a little different.
Behold.
Ah. Is it really from St. Procopius?
Yes, from his cave, a truly astonishing place. This surely has miraculous powers.
You're right. My God, you're right. Such holiness. I'm in your debt, Henry. How can I repay you?
What are you doing here? You're playing truant to the monastery, aren't you? you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
Well, groschen never hurt.
You've surely earned them. Here, and Henry.
Yes?
I just wanted to touch it for luck. If you took something you shouldn't have, I expect you'll put it back.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
What are you doing here? You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you?
Huh?
What are you doing here? You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you?
A monk's got no business. Why didn't you show up? Me and Leshek were waiting for you.
I had, other matters to attend to.
Well, you won't be seeing him now. I put some pressure on him, and he admitted it was all his doing.
He confessed to everything. Why would he do that?
I gave him no choice. He told me he did it, and said he was going to disappear quick before you got to him.
And you just let him go?
He slipped out of my clutches, and I couldn't catch up with him. He's most likely in Kudenberg by now.
Did you tell anyone about it?
Of course. I went and reported it right away. But I don't know what they're going to do about it.
What are you doing here? You're playing truant from the monastery, aren't you? What?
It's done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there alone?
Not a leaf wasted.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm going to check with my own eyes.
How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly. The old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep. And sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka. What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God, there has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
Well, fine. Try it then.
Are you holding him firmly?
Aye.
Done.
Hey, watch it! Folks these days.
Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he just needs to sleep. He'll be able to get out of this on his own. I'm not needed here. He'll be able to get out of this on his own. What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned.
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go.
Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I need to know.
What are the...
You're not from Skalitz?
No, but please help me. I can't stay here.
What happened to you?
I was working on the building when the scaffolding up by the roof collapsed underneath me.
Well, and you're very lucky you survived at all.
Yes, that's what everyone tells me. But it's no use being alive if all I can do is lie here like a wet sack of barley.
Well, you're pretty battered, but I don't see anything that a few weeks' rest can't fix.
Weeks? My God, I have to get back to work sooner than that.
What's the problem? Why can't you stay until you heal?
I have a family. I'm poor. It's only thanks to the building work that we can survive. And the master told me if I don't come back in a few days, then I shouldn't come back at all. And where can me and my wife go then? Who'll take us in? We'll end up living in the woods, where any bandit or ruffian can set on us.
Is there anything I can do to help? It looks like they took care of your wounds.
When I was little, my father got trampled on by a horse, and an old hag from the village gave him some kind of purple herbs for it. And he got better very quickly.
And do you remember what the herbs were?
I don't. But there's supposed to be the whole cursed knowledge of the world in this place. Something has to be written about it. A herbarium. Anything.
I'll try to find something.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
This isn't a job.
Aren't you meant to be in the monastery, lad?
No!
What's the matter? Come on.
Is someone... Hey!
I'll slaughter you! Is that the best you can do?
gone weak at the knees, have you? No kurwa! You're done for, fucker. Jebot! Lost you in.
Well, well. Who's this coming? Fucking come on, then! And your history.
Come here, Lily Liver!
Don't hurt them. Here! Fuck!